What is happening, guys? Welcome to the Republic of Players, episode 16. We're doing something a little bit different tonight. We're streaming to Twitch and we're streaming to YouTube. So bear with us if things don't work out. It's not our fault, okay? This is a new testing ground. Introducing to the podcast, we have the Platinum Jack.
All right, everybody.
What's happening, Jack?
Same old, you know yourself.
We have we'll listen tonight, Jack. So now's your chance. We have the wonderful Una Ming.
Hello, how's it going?
A rare one for the full podcast, but glad to have you on. Poor Fanny couldn't make it tonight. He wasn't feeling up for it, so we're going to run with our community admin. So thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem. Good to be
And,
here.
and we have the legend that is Paddy Toner. What's happening, Paddy?
Not much, guys. How's you?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm back. I'm here. Sorry, didn't want to alarm anyone.
Where's
Didn't want
your
to get
beard
Conor
gone,
McGregor in
dude?
the background. It fell off. Cat licked it off. Didn't take much to get it off.
I see you've got two posters in the background there.
Yeah, one for the fallen Conor McGregor and one for the Republic of Players.
How did you find the fight in the end, anyway? No, we're not going to talk
It was
too
just-
much about it, but we can we can
Yeah,
talk
no,
a
I
little
mean
bit.
nothing like that. I found it disheartening, but he'll be back.
He'll be back.
He'll be
With,
back.
with
Maybe
some
not against Khabib, but maybe someone else.
He needs to drink a few more bottles of proper 12.
Yeah, drown his sorrows. I'd say he's fairly drowning this week.
What impression was that?
It was exactly like Conor McGregor. If you didn't see me, you'd think it was actually him. Some
Sure.
Guys, we're back once again, and we're going to talk about what we've been playing. So, Una Ming, I have been watching your streams lately. Tell the good people what you've been playing on that stream.
Well, it's been very exciting, as you know, because I've been raving about it in the Republic of Players community. I finished Persona 5, and I got my beautiful shiny platinum trophy, which I'm
Wow, that is a serious achievement to get a platinum in that.
It is, and I'm actually, I said this at the time, and I was actually pretty emotional when it popped, because it was just like, oh, all these hours, they meant something.
How long did it take?
110 hours.
Wow.
But it was actually 120, because I mentioned this to you guys, but I made a mistake and it set me back 10 hours, so...
That's, when you think about it, when something sets you back 10 hours, that's that's crazy.
Yeah.
How do you compare it to Persona 4 Golden?
The Persona 4 Golden is like, it's brilliant. It's so up there. I prefer the mechanics of P5. They're just, they're cleaner. The graphics are beautiful as well. The music is really good. I think the music is actually better in P4, but I think the story is better in P5. So I think you guys, like Ronan, if you've played P4, haven't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, you should try it, because this is is just so good. But you will get sucked into it. That's the only thing.
I played Persona 4 on Vita and I absolutely love it. I always say that Vita is a great place for me personally to play the likes of a JRPG, because it's you know, you can pick it up, you can play it, and then you can just hit it on standby, come back to it whenever. It's just the perfect system for me personally. Persona 5, I've said it before, that it scares the absolute crap out of me, because I know I would love that game. I think Persona 5 has, or just the Persona series has this style about it that is so infectious. Like even running through the menus, I find it's just like there's so much style and jazz about the menus and the way the music is. I will pick it up. I know I will. It's dropped down a couple of times to 30 quid. It's always been kind of edging to say, go, just do it. But I need to set myself where there's literally nothing to play for about, I don't know, a year, and then buy it. But have you been playing anything else, or is it just strictly Persona?
Yeah. I'm a big person for RPGs in general, so I'm also playing Final Fantasy 12: The Zodiac Age, the remaster of 12.
How
and
is the
it is so
remaster?
good. Oh, it's brilliant. They've changed a few things to make it better. They've added in extra maps, different tile. You know, I don't know. You've played 12, have you? Have you guys?
Yeah, it's
played?
one of the
12,
only ones that I finished. Yeah.
Oh right, okay, right, yeah. So they've changed the license board system slightly. So instead of just having a set job, you can pick 12 jobs. So you get to choose if you want to be like a battle mage or a red mage or a white mage or whatever. So you're not restricted.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously 12 looked fantastic anyway when it came out on the PS2. And it's actually, they remastered it, but it's still not dissimilar to what it looked like.
Yeah.
They remastered the music as well, but it's just so nice to be back into that game. And the most important thing is they added a speed up mode, which means that you can just grind through the sections really quickly now.
Oh, that's a game changer. That's actually the problem with me when I go and play the older Final Fantasies, is the likes of Final Fantasy 9, which is, you know, phenomenal. I find that sometimes the battles can really kind of drag, and you have to nearly get yourself into that. You know, back in time where it did take a long time to get through these battles, but that's a game changer for me. What I found about 12 when I played it, I loved how it reminded me almost like a Star Wars world, the way it was done. I remember the council and stuff, that it was just such a massively built world. And I love the gameplay as well. Is it the Gambit system?
Gambit system, yeah.
I love that, because it felt like it didn't feel like you were cheating when you got it all perfect. It felt like you learned the mechanics, and you know, you were able to just nearly let the game play for you. And I think there's something great in that.
No, it is. It's like you get to choose what way you want to fight, and that's class. I love it.
Deadly. Paddy Toner, what have you been jamming lately?
Well, I've been playing some FIFA with you guys.
Whoa, Trop United.
And we've been going well enough. I missed the last time you were playing though. How did you do that, Nick?
You know exactly how it did.
Well, I was just thinking maybe I was the missing thing, you know, the right back or the wing, you know. Sometimes one player makes a difference, and maybe it was me.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, we were definitely missing something, because it wasn't clicking at all. It was. I think we had 5 games defeated. We went 5 games without a win, and it was very disheartening. I had to go and get a brandy after the session just to settle the nerves.
Any excuse for a drink.
Any excuse for a drink. I'm having my vit hit now, though, as you can see.
I actually set up a managing career in as well. I do enjoy buying players and selling them off and trying to build a team, starting in like 2nd division, or I started with NK Dons.
Oh, nice.
And have to go. But it's just the same game, isn't it?
It's you don't touch Ultimate Team, do you?
No, I've never really played Ultimate Team. I don't really. It never really appealed to me, to be honest.
The only thing I'll say with Ultimate Team for the likes of yourself that does like buying in players is it does give you that aspect. Only it's online. You're playing against other people. Now I know you have the loot box or the whatever the loot box fiasco that goes on there, but I often find it really good when you have a team just for free and you beat a guy that you know is after putting 1,000 quid in, like he's got Ronaldo and Messi on the same team, and you're just like but no, I like Ultimate Team. I think you should check it out. I've obviously started streaming recently. I'm going to be streaming a lot of FIFA. I just enjoy playing it, and I play it a lot, so
no, I enjoy playing as well. The only thing I want FIFA to change, and I don't mind buying the game every year or whatever that, but like the commentary has to change. I'm just sick of it. It's just been the same commentators for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah,
and they say the same lines all the time. Remember that day when you played in London with Arsenal against it? It's like, shut up, we've heard this 10 million times. Stop saying it, move on and get retired.
What else have you been playing?
Yes.
PUBG.
No.
Did you say the same, Jack?
No, not PUBG. But we know it's Fortnite. Come on, guys.
How are you?
We all know. I thought it was H1Z1.
Yeah.
H1Z1. I played that as well. I didn't like it.
I love the way Paddy's always like, okay, so what are we going to play this week? Rainbow Six Siege? Everyone up for Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah, but
no,
Fortnite. Rainbow Six Siege, and then nobody's around. They're all off playing something else.
It's because I don't have a Paddy, isn't that why?
That's it.
And even when we're playing FIFA, like you can hear Paddy going, nah, I'd rather be kind of somewhere else.
I don't really want to be here, but I'll be here.
Just for the crack, I'll stick around.
I'm looking for Blobs to coming out tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, that's a midnight release. You're getting that, yeah?
I have it downloaded, ready to go. I'm just waiting for it to crack open, and me and Kush and Dave are going to be playing.
Did you play the beta for the
I didn't play the beta. I only ordered the game literally last night. I put it because I was like, if I don't download this now, I'll be waiting for it to download. So I just downloaded it, waiting to go. I didn't play the beta, but I heard it's supposed to be very good. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Like they have little drones and stuff. I'm looking forward to that part.
What's going on? You don't.
He's over here, guys. I can see him. He can't see me.
You'll be droning on, yeah.
Okay, what's the bets like that halfway through the night when Paddy's, in the real depths of a Black Ops game with Kush, it's just like, let's just go and play Fortnite, people. This isn't working, guys. It's not. We haven't got to win.
Instead of seeing Kush rage on Blops, I'll see him rage on Fortnite.
Kush's rage he's got to be the best ever to rage. Like we were the same on Scum. We had a load of loot built up, and some robot killed us, and I swear to God he lost his shit, but it was worth. It was just worth the reaction that he did.
He just went nuts.
He was so disappointed in me that I didn't stay alive. I was like, I'm sorry, but that was hilarious.
He makes you feel inadequate. It's like, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. It was a robot.
So, Jack, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Mario Kart 8 and surprise, surprise, Digimon World still. I'm still working on it.
And how are you getting on with that non-platinum?
Something for that burn.
Damn it, I don't have anything around. But no, it's still going hard and strong, and it's just so grindy.
Are you enjoying
Jack,
it?
it's so ridiculous. I'm in love with it, but it's just so grindy.
Well, that's at least good, because if you didn't love it, then there would be no.
You're not in like with it. It's full on love, Jack.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
you're
not
like you
like
with Fortnite.
Love him. Oh Jesus, you're done. You're done, man. You're done for. But don't be letting the lads egg you on, Jack. If you can't platinum it, you can't platinum it. We're not going to take any
I know I can. It's just grindy as hell. It's just taking a while.
So last week's podcast, I'll clip it later on. You said you'll do it in another week. So
I said I'd do it in another week, and then I never played it.
This podcast, you're saying another week. Okay. Okay.
I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah, next week.
Don't think we're gonna.
Can we give you a limit? Can we say
can we?
It's the 10th now, Jack. Okay.
Right. So
you're saying another week, so that's the 17th. Let's go. Let's give you a little bit more. Let's give you the 20th. Okay, that's a week and a half. 20th of October. Grand. You need to have that done. And if you don't have it done by the 20th, forget about it. Just leave it be, and then I can slag you for the rest of your life.
I believe you can do it.
I'll do it by the 20th.
Okay.
And if I have it done before then, I'll try and get another one just before the 20th, just to really push it there.
Persona 5, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, no.
The guide is on the site. Una Ming made up the guide on the site. It's there for the taking.
No.
It's a really straightforward guide, man.
I'm not saying what game I'll pick.
It's only 110 hours if you go by the guide.
What site
Would
is
I
that?
stay up for 5 days straight?
What site? What site is it on?
What site is it on? Yeah?
It's on the republicofplayers.com.
Oh,
great site. Fantastic site. Everybody go over to the republicofplayers.com. Click on all the ads, as Paddy just said.
Click on all of them.
Look at all the guides.
So like Paddy, I've been playing FIFA with the good lads over at Trop United. We are doing pretty well. We're into, is it Division 5 now? We're floating around there anyway. I think we're just about to get into Division 5 with one more win if we ever get it. But I've had an amazing time with that. It's really after just giving me a new lease of life with FIFA, just being able to be one player and, you know, having to rely on your whole team. It's I've never tried that mode before, and it was actually Fano that said it to us first with the idea, and fair play to him. Like it's really after just making me appreciate that game even more. I've been playing another game as well. I've been streaming a bit of this game, and it's really fun. It's Forza Horizon 4. Now that game has got an awful lot of slack on this podcast previously because it seemed to be the only Xbox exclusive to be released, but it's one of the best selling Forza Horizon games, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. You guys were watching me the other day play it. It's really kind of passive, you know, really good open world driving game that has some serious vehicles in it, and just it
looks like a Need for Speed Underground, just not in the city.
It's a little bit like that. The gameplay in Underground is very much arcadey, and with Forza it's a nice blend of realism and arcadey, simulation and arcadey, and it's kind of nice just to chill out and be able to chat with people on the stream.
It looks some beautiful cars.
Exactly.
Like the E30.
That E30, baby. When we get to the top, we're getting that car. The two of us are just getting a convoy of E30s. Like, I can't believe that's your favorite car, because I've wanted that car forever. So that is the dream.
My father had one. I loved it. 1988 E30 2.5. Yeah.
Oh my god, cool.
Wow. What color
Yeah,
was
but
it?
it was a red one. But
Nice.
they were very cheap for a long time. They're just after shooting up in price the last, say, 7 or 8 years. They were
Yeah.
down to
Hipsters.
2000.
Hipsters.
Sorry?
Gotta be the hipsters.
Hipsters. No, it's just a collectible car. It just looks like a proper car. I love the shape of it and everything
Yeah,
like that.
same here.
It's a lovely car.
Like, even I wouldn't be a huge fan of even the modern Beamers. Like, I love the old school ones. 99 kind of models. They're a different breed, and
we're letting our mad side out here a bit. I think we're talking about UFC and cars.
Yeah, UFC and
football.
cars. Una Ming is just gonna give up and leave.
I'm just saying, I don't mind cars. I like cars. I just like
Nissan.
specific cars. Nissan, pretty much.
Those Jap cars.
They're so good.
Nice.
They're so pretty.
They are. I bought a Skyline and Horizon there last night, actually.
Oh,
Paul Walker
nice.
edition. Yeah, it's
It's a good one.
Ford Capri in the chat. Nice. Ford Capri's a beast. That's Seamus. What up, Seamus?
Hello.
Let's go on to news, people. There's a bit to get through here. What do you want to talk about first? We'll go with something a little bit, not crazy, because there's a couple of big news stories that dropped here. But just the first one I wanted to say that just shows how big gaming is getting in the last, couple of years is the gaming industry contributed 2.87 billion to the UK economy. It supports nearly 50,000 jobs as well. And this is only going to get bigger as gaming gets bigger, and it is mainstream now. But what do you guys think it is? Is it really a surprise how big gaming's got? 10 years ago or 20 years ago, the guy who wrote The Witcher didn't want anything to do with the games because he said video games were stupid. Is the future of video games? I believe it is.
Yeah, to me, it's no surprise, but I think it's different because we're all in the industry, so we can see it.
Yeah.
For other people, I still think that they don't quite understand it. But yet, while I was looking at the story, I did some research, and it's like we have a $1 billion industry in Ireland called Keyword Studios, and it's a gaming industry, and they're the people who translate games and cultural references in video games when they're pitching them to abroad. It's a huge company. They work with EA, Konami, and Ubisoft, and that's just all in Ireland. You know what I mean? Their headquarters is in Dublin. It's a $1 billion industry, but yet when do you hear about them in the news? Practically no one knows about them. And I just feel like there's no state funding here, as far as I'm aware, in Ireland to fund the video game industry, which is ridiculous because we have so much potential here. Anyway, because we have EA is in Galway, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's in Galway.
And then Blizzard are down in Cork.
You have Riot
so it's
as well in Ireland.
Yeah, and Riot as well. So it's just I feel like people still think that games are associated with super nerdy people and just don't understand the potential of how we can actually bring it. We're a really strong industry as it is in Ireland, particularly. And I know that's my 2 cents on the whole thing.
What do you think, Jack?
Honestly, I agree that it could be going the way of the future, could be the way of gaming. But at the same time, yeah, a couple of years ago, it was nowhere near as big as it is now. But then again, what's to say in a couple of years' time, it won't be as big as it is now at this moment in time either. It's when you look at it, it's mainly down to games like Fortnite and Minecraft with the numbers of people that are actually playing them at this moment in time. Games are becoming more and more popular. There's more items coming out. There's more game content. Well, obviously, we have the news segment about the PlayStation 5 and whatever else about that. But if you look back over the years, it's only really mainly in the past couple of years that gaming has become as big as it is.
Definitely.
As it is now at this moment in time.
The thing is that games is a form of entertainment. And then today, it's brilliantly entertaining. And I see people that spend more time gaming than watching TV. And I think it's just a new format. And it's great to see that there's so much work out there, and it's bringing so many people. It gives so much people so much things to do. And I think as you're saying, the point there on Ireland is that Ireland is very kind of set back on things, and everything stays the same, and it's very hard for it to. Their politics and stuff always kind of stays the same in this country. Even UFC and stuff is very frowned upon, and they seem to be very hard. They find it very hard to move forward and to see what the next big thing is. A lot of reason why them companies are in this country is for tax purposes. That's basically why they're here. There is no other thing there's nothing like saying, oh, we want to develop gaming in this country. There's none of that. We've got tax benefits.
Incidentally, though, the studio that I mentioned has been around since 1998 in Ireland. So
yeah, and no one knows about them. It's brilliant,
Well,
isn't it?
the world knows about it, but we just don't know in Ireland about them, which is terrible. That's the biggest issue. Like they make billions of euros or whatever, but it's just we don't know them as an Irish people, and it's very frustrating because we have these brilliant developers as well. I mean, look, anytime we go to a convention, we see these fantastic games that don't see the light of day sometimes, except for at cons, because the media and the government or whatever aren't willing to state fund for video game development, and it's just really frustrating. So as a creator, we treat creators really badly in this country, I believe, specifically to do with video game development.
Yeah, I think it's very much though. I think it's when the older politicians start moving on and we get some newer faces and stuff in there, maybe we start moving forward a bit more than we have been, because this country's just a bit slow.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. It's us. It's going to
Yeah, almost be honest, Republican players.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm with you guys. I think it's not going to be forever that we're going to be in this, this time where video games are, I suppose, frowned on. I think we're looking at a time where, it's very easy to turn around and say, oh, my kid's addicted to Fortnite, or oh, he's playing too many video games. But like, I don't know why the comparison isn't made with, if you watch too much TV, why is that not similar to video games? Personally, me, I've always preferred being a gamer and playing video games, because it's just I feel like I'm interacting with something. With a movie, it's very passive, and with a movie, there's only so much you can talk about when you talk about your friends about a movie. I mean, could we do a movie podcast every week? Probably, but I don't think to be as much to talk about than there is with video games. I think it's video games it's community built at the moment. Like the fact that online is becoming so big. You mentioned about those developers, not getting seen, but I think that it's wide open for those developers coming through, and I think the likes of Mr. Grayscale and those games that we've seen, they are the start of the good indie games coming out of Ireland. Like there has been games coming out of Ireland for a while now, but I think you will see proper indie games getting recognised coming out of Ireland in the next 4 or 5 years. I think because the educational system has got better. I mean, is there Pulse College in Dublin there? They're doing some amazing things. They're always at all the conventions trying to push it. Us as a gaming outlet are trying to push gaming as well, and doing this podcast, and I think it's only going to get bigger. Like, I mean, we're one of the only gaming podcasts in Ireland. I know there is a few, but we're definitely maybe I'd say there's 5 or 6 podcasts that are being listened to, and I think it's just a matter of time before government do kind of turn their head and say, look, there's money to be had here, and if they see that there's money to be had, then they're going to start funding. But that's kind of where I see this. Like, I think UK are obviously a little bit far ahead. These figures that I mentioned are UK, and I think it will bleed over to Ireland sooner rather than later, I think. The next bit of news I want to talk about, it's on the Microsoft side of things, because we do have a lot to talk about with Sony. Is Microsoft are in talks to buy Obsidian. Now, Obsidian are a developer that are, they're highly rated. They've made some really good RPGs, like the old school RPGs. I think they were part of the original South Park game that came out recently, The Stick of Truth. I'm sure that was Obsidian. But Microsoft they're making some really big moves to get developers on their side and to create that exclusive kind of content. But do you guys think it's a little bit too late for this, or are they kind of setting up for the next generation? What do you guys think?
No, I think
Jack,
the reason. Sorry, Roland.
No, go.
Sorry,
on.
no, go ahead, Jack.
You could be. Well, honestly, they might. That's the best way to put it. Like you said, the South Park Stick of Truth, but didn't Obsidian also do Fallout New Vegas, which some people would argue is the greatest Fallout of all of them? I would agree with that, because it was, except for DLC, the DLC lagged out way too much, but they did a fantastic job. And so Microsoft could be thinking, hold on, they did such a fantastic job, people are still talking about New Vegas to this day. You ever bring up Fallout 4 and you ever have a conversation about Fallout, New Vegas is always brought up. So Microsoft could be thinking, hold on, these guys did a good job, maybe if we get them, and then for our next generation we have them create maybe 1 or 2 exclusives, we might be able to pull forward compared to Sony. Sony have basically ruled the roost with the PlayStation 4. Xbox could pull it back with the next generation.
Very true. Paddy?
I think it's kind of they're setting the foundations for the future because at one stage, like if they're starting with this crossplay, it's going to be a different way of a business plan because obviously it hasn't really worked this generation where they thought that their power was going to overtake for the content basically because how powerful the Xbox One is and Xbox X. But with the future being streaming games, they can't keep basing their business on the console itself. So they're going to have to try and get their content up to a better standard and have their own exclusives because the exclusives are going to sell from now on, not the consoles. Not maybe in the next couple of years. And so I think that's why they have to up their game and buy as many studios and develop as many games as possible and maybe set out some good game characters and have some you'd want to buy Xbox stuff just for the games instead of how powerful it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, exclusives are vitally important. Forgive me for I didn't actually notice that article at the bottom of the list, but
I added it in.
Yeah, I didn't spot it. So when you said it, I was like, oh.
just before you say your piece as well, you might be interested in this. Phil Spencer was actually over in Japan talking to developers over there, trying to get Japanese developers on board. Now, a lot of people, including yourself, will probably say that Xbox don't really have any sort of standing in Japan. So maybe you want to add to that as well.
No, absolutely, definitely. Because when I was over there, it was pretty much when you walked into a store, there was barely anything to do with Xbox. It was you could see the blue of PlayStation straight away, immediately in the tech stores. That was all you saw. And certainly for me, what Patty's saying about exclusivity and exclusives, those are always the things that are going to make me want to get something, like considering that all the PlayStation exclusives and how popular they are. It also depends though, when is the next generation of console? Is there something that they know and that's why they're doing it now? Or you know what I mean? I feel like they're teeing up for something. I don't know when that's going to be, but I feel like studios they obviously have a way more better insight track than what we have, I would imagine.
So that's going to segue nicely into our next news story. We are getting another PlayStation, but it was not announced as a PlayStation 5, but we know that we're going to get it. As you know, as gamers, we knew something was coming, but to have confirmation is always nice, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, are the generations getting smaller? I feel like I just have my PS4 and all of a sudden we're talking about a new system. I felt like the PS3 really stretched its limits before it was let go. Like the last two games on the PS3 were Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5, and they, like, the PlayStation nearly took off when you were playing those games. But are we coming through the generations a little bit too quickly, or do you think that maybe are we going to get another console in 2-3 years time?
I think life cycle is nearly. Are we over? How long is usually life cycle? 5 or 6 years?
I'd have to check that. I was mentioning this. I was mentioning this to Patty earlier though, but I'm one of those people, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I'm one of those people who actually doesn't buy the console straight away when it comes out. I like maximize the rest. So I was playing PS3 for years after the PlayStation 4 came out, because I was like, this console is so powerful. Why would I want to immediately jump over when I have all these brilliant games that I can just play here? Plus, it allowed time for other games to be less buggy, I felt anyway.
Definitely.
So I don't know if it's becoming shorter. I think that there's still an over-reliance on PlayStation 4 on updates and all games. You know, the amount of updates we get for games, for little things, the patches. My biggest worry, more than it coming out faster, is that people are going to start getting lazier and bring out things fast without actually perfecting them before they go live. And I think we've seen a lot of that going on.
Well, that's a great point, because if you remember, the first year of PS4 was basically carried by remasters and indies. My favorite game for the first year of PS4 was Resogun, and there was games that were these small indie games, and then you had, I think, Last of Us got remastered and Grand Theft Auto, and there was just a plethora of games that were just remastered. People were getting sick of them for the first year, and then in the second year the PS4 really hit its stride when the first party studios started bringing out their big exclusive games. I think Bloodborne was the start of just the crazy onslaught of exclusives, where at the start it was like, Xbox, it's neck and neck here, but PlayStation pulled away then with the exclusives. Anyone
I'm
else?
just going to tick off your mention of Bloodborne here for a second on my list.
But, I was actually just looking it up there. The PlayStation 1 was actually 6 years old when the PlayStation 2 got released, and it was the same with the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 has been the longest at 7 years. So it would make sense if they released a PlayStation 5 next year, because it kind of keep within the 6-7 year mark. It doesn't really need to be upgraded yet.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But if it comes out, it comes out. But
maybe not the Pro, but the PlayStation, normal PlayStation definitely needs to be updated at this stage. my console goes nuts at certain games now.
Really?
I guess it's normal PlayStation. Yeah. Even Fortnite is so hard on it.
That's because you're playing like 50 million hours of Fortnite on it.
But
could be it.
Also, just to say to Ronan, you were saying that the last games, big games released for the PS3 were really The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5. It wasn't technically, depending on who you ask. Persona 5 was actually released on the PS3 when it was released for the PS4.
Persona 4.
Or Persona 5. It was released on the PS3 when Persona 4 or 5 was released for the PS4. So it really depends on if it's... Because I actually have a copy of it upstairs. That's the only reason I know that.
Can you still get games for PS3 coming out? When was that last year? They stopped doing that. You can still do it. Yeah. Like FIFA comes out. I know FIFA does it for a few years after as well.
But it was the same with the PS2. FIFA was coming out.
Yeah, and Grand Theft Auto. You can get Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS3 and for PS4.
So talking about this, Red Dead Redemption is actually going to be the first, Rockstar game that we're going to get on PS4, which is like a new gen made with this. I'm saying new gen, but I'm excited for Red Dead to be made on a system that
2 weeks.
It's it's very soon. It's like
it
less
could
than
be good until you see the install size and you're like, oh god.
Especially
if you have an original PS4 with the 500 gig hard drive.
I do.
That's going to make but that's 105 gig off it. That's a massive chunk of your memory gone off it. Like even The Witcher 3 with all the DLC is 70. Final Fantasy 15 with all the DLC is about 80. So just the base install for 105 gig, that is...
You obviously never got a Battlefield 4 with all the DLC. It was like 90 gigs, so I'm well used to those big, and the fact that, I don't know, look, it's Red Dead. That I know it does bother a lot of people, but I would delete everything off that system for a couple of months to play Red Dead Redemption 2. If it's that big, all it tells me is there's a serious amount of detail that's gone into this world. So bring it on. Like I don't care how.
Does that mean
200 gig?
Make you think that they need to bring the next generation of console in to maybe to hold all this?
Well, it's so easy to upgrade your hard drive in the new systems. Like I mean, anyone can do it. Like slide the top over, upgrade it to a 2 terabyte, and there you go. Like you've got oceans of space there. You can also add an external as well, which I have a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and they're very cheap now. Like I mean, you'll get an external hard drive for maybe 50 to 100 quid, and that's like a massive one, like a 2 terabyte.
But it'd be another point why this streaming service would be better, where you can play it off a cloud. Do you know what I mean? Instead of having it there in your PlayStation, it would be easier on the PlayStation as well.
Yeah, I like how you say that a 2 terabyte will be oceans of space, but we have we upgraded to a 2 terabyte here, and it's full.
To argue Paddy's point though, streaming would be the way to go, but a lot of people don't have the internet for streaming. So you can kind of understand where they're coming from with having to upgrade to 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, or whatever amount that you want in your PlayStation. You know?
Yeah. More space the better.
Yep.
So, better than the 50 megabyte memory card you used to get with the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1.
That's stressful.
I used to love the memory cards.
Last week we talked about Telltale Games being shut down in a very terrible manner, but Skybound are stepping in to complete the Walking Dead series. Now I believe what I have here on the news story is it says the owners of the Walking Dead franchise has stepped in to finish Telltale's Walking Dead saga. So I mean, there's a lot of I've been reading this, it's kind of back and forth a little bit, but chances of us getting the final saga are very good at this stage. What does everyone think of this? Do you think it's right that these people are continuing to finish this franchise even though there's people out of work? I mean, is this company going to come in and hire the people that were fired? Like it's messy, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that probably a situation was this company probably won't be able to hire all of Telltale. However, definitely other companies, I feel like they won't have any problem finding. I say this with a pinch of salt, but the fact that they can people know the Telltale situation.
Yeah.
When they're applying for different jobs, it's not as if, you know, there was a reason all these people were let go. You know, it wasn't like they were just, you know, they were let go for bad reason. I am phrasing this so badly. So let me
take a minute and go again.
What I'm saying is that the external people who are going to hire these former Telltale employees will understand the situation. So it would never have to be explained to them what happened. So therefore, I think they're in a good position at least to get jobs. It's a horrible situation to get jobs, but that's how it is. I think that it's good that Skybound have come on, because Rob Kirkman, who is obviously the creator of The Walking Dead, it's in very good hands. To be honest, I'm surprised that it wasn't in their hands to begin with, because like he knows the series inside out. I've read 19 volumes of it, and it's really, really good.
It's awesome.
So I think of anything, it's within his hands. It's in great hands, capable hands, and the fact that this studio is apparently going to be releasing more games. So I don't know what their plan is, but I think it's in a good position right now. And I think it would be a shame not to showcase other people's work, that they put so much work into it, and to just leave it go. That's how I kind of feel about it.
Yeah, no, that's totally that's a totally valid point. My problem is I just don't know why they just didn't, like, a company like this. Surely they have a future plan where they can say, okay, if things go tits up, we can finish out this series, and then we can let these people off, as sad as it is. I just think letting them off just before the final saga and then just handing it off to some other company for them to I don't know, for me it's just a little bit weird that the biggest story of this whole situation that people want to find out is, is the Walking Dead saga going to be finished? For me it's not really the case. I just, you know, these people lost their job, and seeing the final saga, I'm not sure if personally I want to see it, but that's just me talking. That's just me.
No, I get that totally. That makes sense too.
So on to some friendlier news that we have been waiting for an age. We are going to be able to. What's up, Paddy? You don't like that? You don't like the drum roll?
Nothing too crypt.
Everybody is going to want to change their PSN name, except me, because mine's awesome. But yeah, we're going to be allowed to change our PSN name. It's been confirmed. We got some rumors last week that I think there was a developer that came out and showed images of a name change, and now Sony are after confirming that we are going to be able to change our PSN name. And I will never change mine, so it's not going to matter to me.
You're not going to change yours, no?
Of course I'm going to change it.
I must be the only person not changing it.
I'm not changing mine either. I'm not changing mine either. What's yours, Jack?
Waxsticles.
Waxsticles. How did you come up with that?
That's a childhood nickname.
How is it made?
Because my name being Jack, you know the whole Wacko Jacko thing, my auntie just called me Waxsticles one day when I was younger, and it just stuck.
That's such a random granny nickname.
Waxsticles.
But it works because it's never taken.
That's it, yeah, actually.
So you're not gonna go Platinum Jack, no?
No,
I'm going to stick with Waxsticles on PSN. Everything else could be Platinum Jack at some stage or another, but PlayStation is staying as Waxsticles. It has been that way since I set up my PSN.
I can imagine you're not going to be the only one that's complained about not being able to change it, and then when we are allowed to change it, it's like, I actually don't want to change it, you know?
I never complained about it. I agree. Like I didn't understand why they didn't allow it back when Microsoft allowed it, but I was never going to change mine.
Like what I understand is it wasn't a case that they didn't allow it. It's just the way they built the infrastructure and the way the username connects to an account. It wasn't a sake of just flicking a switch, but now they're trying obviously different things to change it, and we're going to be able to change it. First of all, you can do your first change for free, and then it's £9 I think to change after that, which is it more expensive than Xbox?
No, Microsoft's is 10.
Oh, Microsoft is 10, so Sony beat them on price on that as well.
It's basically the same price for either, or it's €10.
Nice.
Okay.
I said there's a lot of people that want to change it though. You can see some silly names on.
Oh my god, guys.
You get some really silly names like Tupacrip.
Yeah.
But also, I did a bit of research into this because I was trying to look to see if I could find any funny names.
Go
but
on.
I've seen some beautiful ones as well.
Let me hear
I
them.
have. They're slightly lewd.
It's okay.
We have Bubble Butt 6969. We also have Butt Pretzels.
Butt Pretzels.
And we also have Digital Dick Slap.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why would you want to change that?
Why would you want to change it?
Why would you want to change that? Is right. That is beautiful.
To be fair, the person that made that was like, fuck that, I'm not changing it.
But could you imagine just playing a game of Fortnite and just looking in the corner, random person kills Digital Dick Slap?
No, it'd be worse if you got killed by Digital Dick Slap. Digital Dick Slap has killed you.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, I'm so good.
So
Jack.
everyone's changing their name apart from Paddy and
No. You're the only one changing your name.
You're the
Everyone's
only one.
Isn't yours
Well,
like?
no, I think Fano's changing his as well.
Oh, but Ronan, don't you have a year after the end of yours? Is it?
yeah, 07.
So are you going to be like Tupa Crip 18 or something?
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
do
wouldn't
that.
It? Tupa Crip 18.
Do it.
Just
be
upgrade.
Biggie 98 or something like that there. just flip it on its head.
It's a funny story actually.
West
Really quick, I got a PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation 2. Was it a PlayStation 2 was the first PSN names?
No. PS3.
PS3 was it? Okay. So basically the day I got the PS3, Tupac was dead 10 years. So it was Tupac, rest in peace, 07. And that was it, like, but nobody got it. It was just, I think Ushin calls me Tupac of the Crisps. 07.
I love it.
So yeah, and anytime I'm
Ronan.
online, it's like Tupac Crip. It's just.
I've got one for you, Ronan.
Go for it.
If we get the 2 platinums by the 20th, you have to change your name to Tupa Crip 18.
Oh no,
Oh my
that's a
God,
bad
dude.
deal. That is a bad deal.
I don't know. We'll talk about
you
it after
burned
the
me,
show.
so-
We'll talk about it after the show. I can't commit to that just yet.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's not committing to it. He's not committing to it.
No, he's not.
But I just would love to see if someone published a database of all these people changing their names. It would be so funny to what they changed them to. And just be like, hey guys, Bubble
Yeah.
Butt.
Greg Miller and
Come on,
Colin
Dixon.
Moriarty were singing that song for years, guys. I'm just
Were they?
yeah, on Podcast Beyond when those guys were on it, they were every day. They actually had a section where Yoshida, please let us change our names, and they would name out silly PSN names.
Oh
So,
yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
so it just reminded me of those guys. Shout out to those two. When they were together, they were one of the two of the best personalities in gaming. But
Yourself and yourself.
yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So Jack, you're going to be taking over Fano's section. Shout out to Fano in the chat. But this day in gaming, what do you have for us today?
I'm going to start with Command and Conquer 2, or Red Alert 2 was released 17 years ago today on
cracker.
PC. 12 years ago today, a fairly obscure one got released, God Hand.
God Hand, never heard of it.
I think I was looking at that. That was on the PS4 store on sale, I think, at the moment.
It's like a really obscure brawler. And I don't know much about it myself. I've seen a couple of videos and gameplay of it, but it's a bit of a very strange game.
Okay.
But one of the bigger ones though, 11 years ago today, the Orange Box, including
Oh, what a
Half-Life
game.
2,
Whew.
Portal, and Team Fortress 2 all got released
Wow.
on the PC 11 years ago today.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that was one that surprised me, but the next one surprised me a bit more. Xbox 360, 7 years ago today, Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition.
Deadly.
Oh, how convenient.
That's yeah, very convenient.
Shout out to Red Dead. It still holds up to this day. What a game.
You can play it on PlayStation now, can't you?
PlayStation Now, it works perfectly on PS Now if you got the internet for it.
Did you sign up for that?
I did,
For the
yeah.
PSN?
My friend
find it?
actually, shout out to David, he told me, he said go for PlayStation Now, just do the trial and play Red Dead. So I downloaded it and I played about 2 hours of Red Dead, and it's like just sticking in a game and playing.
It'd be a great streaming game. Like if
Really-
you could play that now and then play, and the second part then would be Red Dead 2 when it comes out.
Yeah,
Be
you
good.
can't actually stream on PS Now.
You can't stream on PS Now.
No, that's just anyone.
Well, you
that's
could do
interested.
you could if you had the capture card into it.
Oh yeah, you could do it that way. You can't, that would work
directly. Yeah.
No, not with the OBS like.
Yeah.
Is that it, Jack?
Is that everything, Jack?
There's two others. 6 years ago today, The Walking Dead episode 4 was released on the Xbox 360, and then a year ago today, Middle-earth Shadow of War was released.
I like that game.
Did not think that was a year old though.
Shadow of War. That's the second one.
Is that the newer one? No, Shadow of Mordor is I thinking. Sorry, I was thinking of Shadow of Mordor. Yeah. I love
2K18 came out last year as well.
FIFA.
FIFA came out last year too. Oh, geez.
Call
of Duty, World at War came out last year as well.
Guys, we're going to go on to topic of the week. The show is running nicely with the time, but our topic of the week is the rise of mobile gaming and its impact on console gaming. So this was one that Una Ming said earlier on in the week. So if you want to kind of take it away, what effect do you think mobile games have on the console world or the PC world going forward?
Well, this was actually something that was mentioned on the Republic of Players Twitch channel by Streamer Elite, and we thought it was an interesting topic.
Shout out to Streamer Elite.
Shout out.
One of my subs.
Our subs as well, the shop subs.
My sub too.
Our legend.
I personally, I understand obviously that mobile gaming is absolutely huge. It's massive. I think it's surpassed in terms of revenue, console gaming. I remember reading that. I just don't see myself ever playing a AAA game on a mobile, because I don't think it has the capabilities of it. Imagine trying to play Skyrim. You know, it's just it wouldn't feel as immersive to me. I think that they both have their places, and I think that the thing is, I never want to get to a stage where there's going to be an onslaught of war between console and mobile, because they can live happily together. There are definitely some games that do suit mobile. For example, rest in peace Telltale, but those games are optimized ideally. So things like side scrollers, things like point and clicks, they're perfect. Fortnite, I haven't seen someone play on mobile yet, but I would imagine they're at a disadvantage straight away, because at least we have clicking buttons, we have our controllers. I just don't see it ever taking over completely the console completely. I can see the console maybe moving on to a online streaming service, but not actually taking away, the mobile actually dominating completely, personally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Paddy?
100%. No, I can say the exact same thing, where I like to play, if I was going to sit down and play Spider-Man or something like that, I'm going to want it on the biggest TV there is, like, to play it, to really get into the game and enjoy the story. Like, I could go back, I wouldn't mind playing like an old Pokemon game or something, like the original, like the Game Boy games. If you went back and played them on mobile, I can 100% see why you do that. Like, it's the same size. You could probably put the A button and the B button on it, and you could go around, but it does definitely have its place, and I've nothing against mobile gaming. I just don't see the big titles going on to it. Like, you're not going to have a good massive game on a mobile. Like, I just couldn't imagine picking it up.
Command and Conquer is going on to mobile.
Yeah, Command and Conquer stuff like that. Command and Conquer. Yeah, but like them kind of games, strategy, point and clicks, them kind of stuff games, they'd be grand on a mobile, but not like big storyline games. Or I would never play Fortnite on a mobile. It would be absolutely awful. I'm bad enough with a controller. Like, I'm not gonna go.
Just imagine the rage. It'd be cushion levels of rage.
Like, if you could get in where you play console against mobile, I'd love that, because it'd be so easy.
Just turn around.
I defeat the world record.
Jack, what do you think?
It has a place, definitely.
Sorry, Paddy, I thought you were finished.
No, go on ahead.
Jack?
But I have to agree with the two of them, but at the same time, it has its place, but it has a bit more of an influence on console gaming than what seems to be said. And the biggest example of that I'm going to say is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, that is basically Pokemon Go but for the Switch. When you look at it.
But that comes down to it being a cash cow. Do you know what I mean? Like, Pokemon Go went massive. It's like anything, all them industries will always, if they see something that's going mad, they will hatch onto that and they will hold on for dear life and pump the money out of it until it's dry.
But that's what I mean by it's a lot more influential than what we were saying. It's a cash cow, yes, but when other developers start seeing that, hold on, we can get a lot of money from this, bit like what Nintendo did of done with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's going to be a lot more games either being released for the mobiles that by AAA developers, or there's going to be a lot more mobile games coming to consoles like Fallout Shelter did, and there's been a few, but that I can't think of off the top of my head. But Fallout Shelter is the biggest one, really, other than Let's Go Beach and Eevee, which is just basically remakes of Go.
Yeah.
Well,
Cash cows.
That's true. I personally don't think there's any comparison with AAA. No, I won't even say AAA games. Console gaming versus mobile gaming, and I think I think Una Ming, you mentioned earlier on about the revenue being bigger in mobile gaming. I think you have to look at the type of games that are creating this revenue. The likes of there's these really kind of cash cow games that I've heard of. Princes in Israel putting like thousands of dollars into these things. Clash of Clans, that's one that has that probably
I put money in that game.
There you go, like that beats a lot of probably single player AAA games that come out in revenue. But for me, I have never I have a phone the last whatever amount of years, and I don't think I can ever see myself sitting down there and I think it's to do with the screen. Like pressing the screen is just, it's not for me. It doesn't feel like I'm gaming. It's a totally different experience than when I sit down in front of a TV. Like, if you want to really compare it to something, I think you have to compare it to the other handheld systems that are out there. But even, am I going to take a Vita over a mobile phone? Of course I'm going to take the Vita. It's built for that purpose alone. I think with a mobile phone, it's like a Swiss Army knife. Yes, it can game, but it does all those other things as well. I don't think... Yeah,
sorry.
Go
ahead. I was just going to say... Candy Crush. Yeah, Candy Crush. You're saying about touching the screen on the phone to play a game, but the thing is, you can actually connect your PlayStation 4 controller, you can connect your Nintendo Joy-Cons, you can connect your Xbox One controller to your phone through Bluetooth. It's finicky, yes, but you can actually do it.
But I also don't think that the mobile phones are powerful enough to give me the same experience than a Vita or a Switch or some of these systems, these handhelds that are... I know, and the price of the new mobile phone, like £1,000, you could buy 2 PlayStations for a new iPhone. Like,
exactly,
it's garbage water. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think we'll ever see a time where I'll be in my own head thinking, oh, will I play it on mobile or will I play it on my big TV? Like, TVs are only getting bigger. I mean, the standard now is a 50-inch. Like, do you think that this thing is going to take over like my 50-inch TV? It's never going to.
Is it something like that Razer phone is coming out? Is that what that's how that point was brought up, wasn't it? Does anyone know the specs of that? It's supposed to be unbelievable.
I'm not too sure, but I would imagine it's ferociously expensive.
But nobody ever like until like the Switch, I will say, is the one that really crosses the boundary of feeling like you're playing a AAA game on handheld. Vita couldn't do it, and Vita was very powerful, but when it started doing the AAA games, they struggled. Like, I think Borderlands was the last one to try it, and it was very bad frame rate, and it was the one that kind of sank the Vita, I think, was Borderlands 2. But I don't know, for me, I don't think we've anything to worry about for a while. The games that are on mobile are very pick up and play, and then that's really...
I like playing the older games on it. Like, you can pick up play... Well, that's emulation, but like I don't mind like playing like Mario's and Sonics, and you can buy them. Actually, I bought them. I bought Sonic and stuff on it before for €2 or something. You can play, the side scrollers and all that stuff, and they work well on the handhelds. The older games are brilliant for that, but I wouldn't be going playing big titles on it. No way.
But also, one of the biggest downfalls is battery. It's just impossible. Unless you're carrying around a charger, external charger all the time, which I am, but that's besides the point. Why would I want to drain it on a game? You know what I mean? I would, like Ronan said, I have a Vita, so I'm going to play my Vita because it's just, I know that the battery is awesome on that. Yeah. The battery is fantastic on the Vita. The Vita is so underappreciated here. Not here, but just...
Its library isn't great outside of Japan and everywhere else.
That's Sony's fault.
There's so much to play on the Vita, though. I know it's discontinued and stuff has not been made, but like, I mean, there's so much to play on that. I would advise anyone that doesn't have a Vita to go and buy that and have a look through the library. Like, you're going to be playing for
that's the second time in this podcast you've recommended it.
If you're going to get a Vita, lads, get Persona 4 Golden. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and it's only a tenner.
There you go. Sale, scoop.
Or £35 for the physical copy if you want to go that way.
No. Get the tenor version. It's grand.
So we're not going to be moving on to mobile just yet, we'll say.
No.
Pokemon Go. Yes, we'll do it.
Is it a generational thing? Is it because we grew up with all these that we're just not used to all this mobile
Possibly.
stuff? Or...
That is a really good point. My son plays more mobile games than I do, but he also loves play. Like if I was to give him the mobile or the PlayStation, he'd pick the PlayStation all day long.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I grew up on Game Boys. Like I love Game Boys. When I was growing up, I've had nearly every one of them. I kind of moved away from it now, but geez, I love the Game Boy.
Speaking of Game Boy, does your family call everything a Game Boy? Because that's what my mom does. She's just like, so you're off to play your Game Boy? No, mom, it's my PlayStation.
It sounds so childish. Like actually a PlayStation, mom.
That's completely different to my mother. When I brought home my Vita, she just picked it up and went, "Can I have a look at the camera on this?" Jesus, that's a really good camera. That was her first thing she said. It's like, "Does that have a camera on it?" Yeah. Can I have a look at it?
I love Vita.
So guys, we're coming to the end of the show. Any more last words on mobile gaming, or what's the story with the community? Paddy, you're on community section this week.
Am I? I can go through the comments here.
No,
we can do it live.
We're a man down, so we have no community moderator this week. But
sorry.
Well, Coach said on Twitch, I beat the raid. Woohoo! That's the first comment.
Oh, nice.
Woohoo!
I see H in the chat from Seamus.
Got H chat.
Yeah, Seamus, you should have been here, man. What's the story now?
David,
the only thing I know about Persona 5 is a turn-based combat, and you can shag the teacher. Wish I read that before.
And that.
R-rated.
Here's the thing. David may have been watching some of my streams.
Everything I could about this game, and this is the first thing I hear that I didn't know about it, and I'm like, oh.
And he is 100% correct.
God damn it!
Everybody
David
in the chat goes out and buys it now.
I just haven't played it.
Oh no, that's not it. That's not even. It's just not. It's not important. It's just a side tidbit for you.
Is there a trophy involved?
It's important. No. You don't have to do it to get the trophy. No.
Do you know?
Is there not a relationship trophy in it? No.
There is, but you don't have to. You can have multiple relationships in the game, which I did.
Oh, I know that, and you can get caught, and it's hilarious when you get caught.
I got caught.
Seamus says, I wonder how big Cyberpunk is going to be. It's got no loading screens and it's open world, 150 gigabyte, he thinks.
Ooh.
I'd say more. I'd say closer to
more?
250.
Holy crap, I wouldn't buy that.
I was on board with Cyberpunk until I saw that it was first person, and I was sad.
I'm still on board with it myself, even with it being first person.
My brain just doesn't compute first person games, unfortunately.
Red Dead is also going to be, there's first person available in Red Dead as well, for anyone that doesn't know.
See,
I
like
don't think
that
I do it in
option.
first person.
I heard about
Yeah.
that, yeah.
The option is good.
Yeah.
Because it almost, with Grand Theft Auto 5, I feel like sometimes I like to be in first person, shooting and stuff, but when I'm driving I like to be in third person. Stuff like that is nice to have the change.
I don't know if you found this in Skyrim, but for me, I loved walking around in third person, but when I had to pick up a wheel of cheese, it was first person.
It had to be first person. Same with Oblivion.
Yeah.
Baxter, you had a whole
Oblivion was
wheel of
nuts for that.
cheese?
What else? Isn't there a bunch of restriction to the PSN name change? Like it'll only work on games released after April 2018.
It sounds weird.
That seems like a strange restriction to have.
Yeah.
Because that's
And
just this year.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, that one. Bloodborne is the best exclusive PlayStation game.
No.
What?
Yes.
No.
It
I
is
love Bloodborne, but it's not the best exclusive.
What?
And
Fight me.
mobile games peaked at Candy Crush. See, someone knows. David Ayres knows. He knows. I was hooked on Candy Crush for a while. I'll admit.
I'll admit that too.
I can see you. I can just see it there.
See,
I actually had this.
Shame.
I had this weird image earlier of just Paddy talking about Fortnite, and you said you were playing FIFA, just standing in the middle of the FIFA pitch, just trying to build. It's not working.
Just Ronaldo or Messi just pulls out a pen and paper and is like, right, where can I build this wall?
I think that's all we have for community
Well, guys,
this
we'll
week,
do our
boys and
shout
girls.
outs and we will get out of here. It's been another great episode. Una Ming, if you want to do your shout outs, where the people can find you.
Oh yes, this is my moment to shine, people.
Go
My
for
moment
it.
to shine. You can find me over on Twitch at Unitex, YUNITEX, and you can find me over on Twitter at Una Kavanagh with a K and no extra U. Thank you.
Platinum Jack.
You can find me on Twitch at the Platinum Jack, and you can find me on Twitter and everything else good on at Waxticles.
Deadly. And Paddy?
You can find me here. No, you can find me on Twitter at Paddy the Pagan, and I'm streaming on the Republic of Players Twitch channel a few nights a week, and find me on Facebook if you're looking for me on the group. Shout out to the group.
Shout out to the group. Yeah, just a couple of things. therepublicofplayers.com. Make sure therepublicofplayers.com. Make sure you go to that and have a look at the amazing articles that have been put up there recently. Shout out to our content team who've been doing some amazing work. Also mentioning today is Mental Health Day 2018. If anyone is out there that is suffering, make sure you just talk to someone. Make sure you just, a family, a friend, even if it's one of us, just come and just knock on the door, knock on the owl Facebook Messenger and say, look, something's up, and all of us here have been through exactly the same thing, so don't be afraid to talk. And just get me now. I am a Twitch affiliate. I am very proud of that. Whoop whoop. The Alpha Fox Gaming. Thanks to all you guys for helping me out with that. Shout out to Seamus who's in the chat. Missed as always, Seamus. It feels like an empty space when you're not here, so hopefully you'll be on next week. And this has been, I hope I'm not forgetting anything, am I? This has been, actually, one more thing. Bloodborne is the best exclusive ever.
It's not.
And
it's not.
This has been the Republic of Players, episode 16, and we are out.